Snap back to Barlow. Has some time. Here comes the pressure. He's going to go down. He's going to get sacked by Deontay Dean. Double D. Deontay Dean with the sack at the end of the game, and this one goes final. Deontay Dean with a play of the game for the ACU defense. Oh my, what an ending to this one. A very pleasant good evening to you from the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University for another installment of the Storm Report, talking Arizona Christian University athletics. It is episode number 4. I'm your show host, Kevin Derryberry, and my broadcast partner and my co-host of the Storm Report is Ed Cole. Ed will join us momentarily. Jam-packed program for you. Huge win over the weekend, another Sooner Athletic Conference victory for the Firestorm, and it was impressive to say the least. I got to say, whoever wrote our story, I'm thinking maybe it was Tim Gosen or maybe it was Mr. Robert Nielsen. The caption on the headline before the game began was, intimating the idea that this game could be a thriller, and boy, was it a thriller. It went to the final play of the game. Fantastic finish. Deontay Dean showed up at the right time. We're going to talk to Jeff Bowen about that on today's Storm Report. Also joining us on the program will be the offensive line coach extraordinary, Nelly, they call him. Brett Nelson joins us on the program today on the Storm Report. Also on the program, we'll speak with NAIA All-American. Want to slow down and talk on the radio just a little bit. We'll speak with both of our NAIA All-Americans. Of course, Jon Cole joined us on set here, and Jon Cole is just the leading receiver in the NAIA at about 151 points or 151 yards a ball game. We'll get this right. And also Riley Tucker, the pride of Desert Mountain. He will be here as well representing his Texas roots, but it will be Riley Tucker joining us on the set. And who knows who else might show up. We get a few surprises every now and then, right? So without further ado, Ed Cole, welcome in. Jeff Bowen, welcome in on the Storm Report. How are you?
Good, doing great.
Good evening, Mr. Derryberry, Mr. Bowen.
How are you?
We are doing fantastic. Let's start at the very top. Big win, 52-45 win. It was indeed in the thrilling category. It was the 8th meeting between ACU and the Lions from Sagu. 6-1 all-time, winners of 4 straight heading into the contest, and you guys took care of business. Make it 5 straight now after that epic victory, and 6 of 8 games against Sagu have been decided by a touchdown or less. Last year it was Nestor Higuera drilling that field goal on the road in Waxahachie. This year it was Deontay Dean getting it done. What a victory and what a way to seal the deal at the end of that one, Coach. Congratulations on a win.
Yeah, thanks. It was I'd prefer a nice boring blowout, but we'll take a close win over a loss any day.
What made that game so close at the very end, in your opinion?
Just execution. Get them off the field. We had our chances defensively. We had a few miscues that allowed them to score, and then they fall on an onside kick, and here we go. It's stuff we're going to work on, stuff we'll clean up, and it's a lot more fun cleaning up mistakes after a win than a loss.
There are a couple things that were kind of fluky. The onside kick, if you could say that was fluky. It's about the execution sometimes in that regard, right? But there was also a botched punt where it was just a fire drill at one point, and the ball happened to hit the back of a cleat of one of our players, and possession to Sagu, and that kind of changed the momentum at times as well.
Yeah,
unlucky in that case.
Preparation outdoes luck anytime. But, we got to get away from a ball when you're called poison. We run the fake punt when we're up 21, goes down to the 5-yard line. If that play counts, we punch in, we're up 28. I think it's pretty much over at that time. But, we had to give them the ball back, and then here we go. Sagu's never going to quit. They're well coached. They're fundamentally sound. They have good talent. And that's just a recipe for a hard-fought game, and you can't take plays off.
Jordan Barlow, 301 yards and a touchdown. Wow, he was something else. He really tested the secondary on Saturday, Coach. A lot of going after Zachariah Johnson, Keaton Dudek, Zachary Johnson. Just looking at their box score, they've got so much talent there offensively. But I think for the most part, and I would think Kevin would agree that the secondary held their own. despite the onslaught.
As crazy as it sounds, our two corners held up really well.
They did.
They did not beat us on the outside. They caught a 50-50 ball with the DB in great position. Hats off to them. Again, you're talking about 6'5", 230-pound receiver on a 5'10" DB, and the quarterback dimes it up. It is what it is. You give them credit for that. So those plays are going to happen in the game. You just don't want them running around free in open space all day. And we did that some with some slot short routes in the back coming out of the backfield. He's a quality player, and we turned him loose a few times, and he made us pay for it.
He was the preseason Sooner Athletic Conference Offensive Player of the Year candidate. So, going into the game, and we've had experience with him before, he's just that. He's a solid football player and had a solid game.
Yeah, give them credit, but let's not lose fact of our guys played their tails off, and offensively we were explosive as we've ever been. We only punted twice, so our offense was clicking. We were scoring points. We were running the ball. And the passing game was, Tyler did a great job, and receivers after the catch did a great job. So, if you were at the game, you knew from the start they were chasing us all night. We weren't chasing them. So we just got to clean up a few things, and then we put people away.
Almost 500 yards passing for this group here collectively. That's two guys throwing the football. Tyler Duncan, the numbers are gaudy for him. The 429 yards passing for him, impressive. Second all-time in ACU history, individual game performance. And then the other guy, Jon Cole, you guys draw up a play for him, and Jon Cole spots the receiver downfield and throws a dart. And there you go, 475 yards between those two young men.
Yeah, not bad for guys that got stuck playing for an old wing T football coach. But yeah, we're throwing it around. Guys did a good job. Jon likes to give Tyler a hard time because his quarterback rating is higher than Tyler's. But you look at Tyler's numbers, his ability to extend plays and create when things break down is what really makes him special. I don't know, he's probably maybe second or third in passing yardage, but when you add in what he does when he runs the ball, I wouldn't trade him for another quarterback in the league.
He's such a good sport, too. I saw him shaking hands with the opposition at certain points, picking guys up off the field. Just a great leader all across the board. Nice guy.
Yeah, he's a good leader, but he, you got to be around him. He's got a hard edge when he plays, and I like that about him. You want a quarterback with an edge, and TD is very competitive, and I love the kid. He does a great job.
Coach, what impresses me the most, you look at this 23 of 39 under the interceptions, I see a 0. That's got to be one of the most major sticking points. We talk about turnovers and how it's plagued this football team all season long up until this point. So 0 turnovers and 39 pass attempts for Tyler.
Yeah, it was something that he knew he needed to focus on and not put us in a bad situation, throwing, jump balls and really those things were happening because he is so competitive and he's trying to make the play. Well, sometimes the best play is no play. And it's hard for players to understand that because we're not the only ones on the field. We're not playing against air or something we draw on a chalkboard. They're moving around, doing things too. So sometimes it looks like it's there and it's just not. But he settled down, no picks. We didn't fumble the football. We played clean on the offensive side of the ball, and the result was 52 points.
7 different wide receivers, too. He found chemistry with 7 different guys during the contest, and it's called spreading the wealth a little bit with a nice balance of that run game, Coach, over 100 yards rushing as well. That combination of Cole Davis, Aiden Quinn, no order right there. Those guys continue to just battle, and they give you a lot of effort every Saturday.
Yeah, it's a 1-2 punch, and when you look at what Tyler does in the RPO game and stuff, we have good balance there. We want to get some more out of the run game. We got to shore up some things there to get some more production out of that. But if you're running the ball well, it makes us tough to defend because we're going to throw it well too.
And you talk about being a competitor, or Coach Bowen referring to Tyler Duncan as being a competitor. We've seen a competitor up in Prescott for the Northern Arizona Wranglers, and Caden Walters. He's a guy that likes to get out of the pocket and take a shot early in the IFL. Tyler took a pretty good hit early in that ball game, and once he took that hit, he kind of settled in very nicely. I like those guys that want to get a little physical before they kind of relax and start playing their game. It seemed like TD did a little bit of that on Saturday.
I don't know if TD wanted to take that hit because
that was a shot.
It was a shot, and I don't know. I thought there should have been a penalty on that one, but it was opening drive, and we talked about starting fast, and we took the ball and went down and scored on the first drive, and we followed that up with the second drive TD. So we started fast, and that's what our focus was, and he took some shots, but he obviously got it done again.
Those were 2 tone-setting drives too, by the way, JB.
Yep, very much so. It was a focus of our offense, and we talked about it all week. We had a great week of preparation, and the guys came out and executed well. We had our guys on the field. We got Jesus Arena back at left tackle, and the guys did a good job up front, and it was just a good overall performance on the offensive side of the football.
Coach, how important was it to get 3 scoring drives of 10 plays or more, especially that 16-play drive with Aiden Quinn ending with that 1-yard touchdown run, to be able to sustain drives that long?
Well, and that's kind of the thing people talk about when you run a spread offense. They talk about, scoring quick and those type of things, and we do that. You saw that we had a 1-play drive and a 2-play drive for touchdowns, so we can hit it quick, but what I like about our guys is their sustainability and to maintain drives. And sometimes you're not always going to score in those 2 or 3 plays. So can you eat up 10 plays and still? Because odds are, you're going to make a mistake the more plays you run. Mm-hmm. So it's a mental focus on just taking what they give you. Take the crumbs every now and then and just keep the ball moving down the field.
Because that's more realistic, right? To have one of those long, sustained type drives where you're going to run it a little more balanced, pass and run, and which you guys are very good at that. The numbers, I think, would spell that out, that you're almost 50-50, maybe a little bit of a split here this past week. But another group that really was instrumental in the victory, and it was certain times that they played well, but it was special teams. Nestor, a big field goal. But I also thought, you mentioned Bailey only punted twice, but I thought in the return game, Devin Nielsen did a solid job back there, and their punter was very good. Their kicking game, their special teams was outstanding. I thought Devin Nielsen did a great job of securing the football when the ball was kicked to him. It was a little bit blustery out there. I thought he had some tough conditions, but he was able to do a nice job for you and set you guys up.
Yeah, Devin did a nice job, and the reason he's back there is he fields the ball. You can't.
Sure-handed.
You don't want the ball rolling around on punts because you take a 30-yard punt and turn it into 60 just because you don't field it and it's rolling around. So it's kind of good news, bad news thing. The good news is he's doing a great job of fielding the ball in front of pressure. The bad news is we're letting pressure get to him. So we got some things to clean up there, and we'll work on that this week. But Devin's he's definitely been a positive back there fielding punts for us.
My last point on special teams kickoffs, Abiel Lipe, 507 yards in total yardage in kicks, but it was the 3 touchbacks, no returns for those guys for Sagu. And again, it sets the defense up in the right way.
Yeah, we did a nice job. We also covered 2 kicks and got them down inside one inside the 15, one inside the 25. And if they fair catch it, they get the ball at the 25. So in today's new rules, if you can get them down inside the 25, that's a plus for your special teams. So we were able to do that. I think we only gave up 1 of any distance. So the kickoff team showed quite a bit of improvement there.
My last one on TD, Tyler Duncan, 476 total yards. He also got that ground game going, 47 yards and a touchdown for him. So just a solid effort by everybody. You mentioned the line play. How about the defense, Coach? Some bright spots on the defense. Working in some new guys on that defensive line. Secondary was outstanding. Middle linebackers, we didn't touch on those guys, but Jacob Hernandez, I think he has 37 tackles now, top 15 in the country. Just makes a lot of football plays for you. The hitman.
Yeah, Jacob plays well. He wasn't really overall excited about his performance.
He looks like he might have been banged up a little bit.
No, he's fine physically.
Okay.
He just didn't have what he feels like is his top-notch performance, but he's always going to come through for us and play well. The corners, Antonio Horrison and Deion Horton played. They took every snap at the 2 corner spots and held their big. They got the big, tall, long receivers out there, and they did a good job of holding them down.
They did.
And Coach Harris is doing a good job with his rotation with the D-line, and, they played well. Deontay got the sack there at the end, but he did it from, our three technique. He's normally outside, and he played inside, and so we actually had three defensive ends on the field on that last play. So the guys up front are doing good things. We talk about it all the time. Defense is alignment, assignment, and run like heck to the football. And when we give up plays, it's because one of those three or multiples of those three are a little off. But if they're not off, we can be a really good defense.
How about it, Coach Harris making in-game changes on the fly, and they result in a game-winning sack, if you will. That's fantastic when you have coaches that are they're into the game that much all across the board to the final snap of the game. We're making adjustments to the very end. And nice job, Coach Harris. And what a play by Deontay Dean and the entire football team. Rejoice, big victory. Anytime you win in the Sooner Athletic Conference, it's huge.
There are no bad wins.
Never are.
Never.
That's Jeff Bowen, the head coach of the Arizona Christian University Firestorm, now 3-1, undefeated at home, Coach, too. That's nice. I know you take a lot of pride in winning games here. That's a new tradition here, but it's a nice fan base there. I think we can get some more people in there.
Yeah.
But you guys are doing a great job here at home.
That's part of this new campus. It allows us to have our home, a true home field. If you want, realistically, we've been a road team. Every game we've ever played was on the road until we got here. So yeah, it's a plus. We got the student body in there rolling now, and props to them and their excitement and what they bring. And we got the cheerleaders and dance team rolling now, and it gets a little better each year. The community feel, the atmosphere on game day, the Tower Grill's open for food and stuff like that. So I think as year after year, the traditions and the atmosphere of ACU football is just going to get better and better.
We're pumped up, Coach. We're going to talk to you in a little bit. We've got the Spirit on the schedule next. So we just play the games that are on the schedule, and we'll talk about them accordingly, Coach.
All right. Sounds good.
You bet. Jeff Bowen, our guest. We'll be right back. When we come back, we will have on set Jon Cole and Riley Tucker talking more ACU football and their big win over Sagu. Welcome back to the Storm Report. Joining us on the set on a victorious Monday evening is, to my left, Riley Tucker, a 4-year stud at Desert Mountain and an all-SAC first-team defender as a freshman of the year as a Sooner Athletic Conference member. That's Riley Tucker. And also joining us is the dude, JC, we call him, number 7, Jon Cole, joins us on the set. Another NAIA All-American. We have 2 of them here on the program. And, of course, Ed Cole. Ed, take it away. What's your first question for the guys?
Fellas, 52-45. That was a hard-fought victory. You know, we talked to Coach Bowen. No victory in the Sooner Athletic Conference is easy. Jon Cole, let's start off with you, man. 8 catches for 198 and 2 touchdowns, 86-yard tutty. How'd you feel on Saturday?
First, it started off with the beginning of the week. I wanted to get the team to set the tempo and, like, buy in together and know that we can be dominant and more physical than SAGU, because Coach Bowen was letting us know that, like, we want to come out and play 4 full quarters and be, like, show the full potential we can live up to. So from Monday all the way till Friday, the execution was smooth. Everybody was buying in. Everybody was going to weights on time and just doing everything right. And then just, like, you can feel the team coming together. And then Saturday, it just was clicking on offense, and then defense stepped up when they had to, and it just all came together.
JC, for you, how important was it for you to get in early and set a tone for you and let the defense know you're here to play?
To me, it was big because finally I got to play the first quarter due to my own personal problems, and that I wanted to make a statement and just to know that I can, like, help the team and just start the team off with a strong and dominant statement, and making sure that I live up to my part of the end so my team can count on me when times come, so they don't, like, what's going on. And I just wanted to just prove a point to SAGU, because for some reason, someone with their defense I just feel comfortable with, and just prove a point and just come out and oppose every dominant will we can.
And it's kind of funny, and John, how one group could be so comfortable and yet another group be terrified and very uncomfortable, and that was the Lions' perspective on having to defend you one-on-one. I think they try to single you up at certain times, and boy, do they pay the price for that. It was a lot of fun watching you do your thing Saturday.
Yes, sir. Whenever I see a one-on-one matchup, I just, like, grin and smile, because it's like it's one-on-one, and I know that I'm going to win at least 90% of the time or try to come out on top. And it's just, like, the trust with the players and the coaches to trust me to get those one-on-one matchups, and for them to really trust me to come out and win those one-on-ones. So it's just like it's like getting candy for a kid.
Jon Cole is on the set. And, John, I saw 3 number 7 jerseys on the front row about the 50-yard line on Saturday, and it seemed like that you had some support systems in place. Your family was there watching you. What did that mean to have them in the stands, and then you put on a show for them as well? So that had to be a real special Saturday for you.
Big shout out to my mom and dad, because they come to every away game, home game, any game. Matter of fact, they are coming to support. And then my godparents came, and I forgot they were coming. And then right when I turned and, like, he called my name, I almost cried. I had to go in the tent because I haven't seen my goddad in, like, since, like, freshman year of high school. So then, like, when I turned around and seen him, I just was like,
got a little emotional, huh?
Yeah, and I'm like, whoa, and it just, like, helped me get, like, more focus and just to buy in, because you never know when somebody can, like, see your last game or when it's going to be your last game. So you always want to give it your all. And it's just like, whenever family comes to see you, just love it, because it's all natural love and just genuine, and you can just show how much you have progressed since then.
John, we've got more for you, no doubt about it. Riley Tucker's also on the set. And, Riley, man, just thinking about you coming to this program a couple years back and how much growth you've shown here. Already you're the number 1 tackler in unassisted tackles in the program's history, number 1 in passes defended in the program's history. You're a touchdown maker. I think you have 12 career interceptions right now, but you're a playmaker. You're a leader on and off the field. What's it like? What was your decision like? How do you look back on things? And you did something right by coming here to play football at ACU, because you have been a stalwart and an absolute stud here.
I just got to give a big shout out to all the coaches that have molded me from the moment that I've gotten here. Honestly, like Coach Thompson and Coach Singfield are the ones that ultimately talked me into coming into here. And then Coach Sewell, talking with Coach Sewell and just the player that they've made me. I had Coach Will as my safeties coach my first year, and then Coach Art came over to from the corners to safeties my last year and this year. And I've actually been with Coach Art. I think this is my 7th year with Coach Art because he was my defensive coordinator when I was at Desert Mountain. So, and it's just, I mean, he molded my football mind and just the way I see the game, the way I watch film and everything. And like that with, I mean, he's made me the player that I am because I've been with him for 7 years now. So it's amazing to be able to still be with him. And I just appreciate him a lot.
How much do you credit that study, that study of the game and that film and that technique that people use now? Everybody's going to it, right? But it's the utilization of that and the availability of being able to watch film and then what you're watching. How are you able to dissect what's going on there with the coaches assisting you?
Honestly, film is probably one of the biggest things ever for a defensive side of the ball. I mean, I haven't watched film for offensive side of the ball in years, so I couldn't really tell you that. But defensive side of the ball, I mean, every offense has its tendencies. They line up in this formation. It's like Coach Art tells us, it's all statistics, right? And certain down and distance, they want to do certain things. And like going against Sagu, I mean, there were drives where I was calling out their plays every single play just because of their tendencies and how they line up. Mm-hmm. Their O-line was telling me, they were saying, shut up, Riley, just because, I mean, their hand signals, they had to change their hand signals going into the second quarter. And I talked to Jordan after, and Jordan is absolute, he's a great character. And, I just love going against him. I love the competition. And he's, at the end of the day, I think Coach Bowen ended up having to say, Riley, come on, let's go. Because I was talking to Jordan for 10 minutes after the game. And it's great playing against him. It's great talking to him.
Respect, right? Respect on the field, that competitive respect that you all share. It's fantastic.
Yeah, Riley, that was the battle going up against Zachariah Johnson, Dudick, Zach Johnson, Busby. We can go down the list of everybody that was on Sagu's offense. But is that a character builder, getting that kind of a victory, having to hold on like that? There's so many ebbs and flows in a football game like that. But for this football team to come out victorious by 7 points in a hard-fought victory like that, does that build character for this football team?
Oh, yeah, I think it definitely builds character. There's a lot to look back on, definitely, though. There's a lot that I, in particular, need to address in this week of preparation, and us as a secondary as well. You guys talked about the corners earlier. We gave Antonio a big job this week. We told him, you're going to line up with their number one guy all snaps, And if you get tired, we'll try to get you a breather or anything. But like you said, he didn't come out, and he went against their number one guy. And from what I can remember, he made one catch, And if you look back on film, he had 4 or 5 of those, and for touchdowns. So a big shout out to Tone in the week that he had. A big shout out to D'Lo. Those corners are improving tremendously, and now us in the safety's got to pick it up and just make the tackles when we're there.
So, Riley, when you see Antonio and others play like that, how does that motivate you and help you up your game, knowing that your brother to your left and to your right are stepping their games up?
Honestly, it's just the trust, I know he's got his job, and there's never been no doubt, but I know he's got his job, so I'm more free to do what I do, and then based off of what I've seen in film, I can react.
That's a good segue because you've changed positions, right? You go from a free safety where you had a chance to kind of roam a little bit, be more of a ball hawker, and now you've got that responsibility of moving over to strong safety where now you're more of a run stopper in some cases. How's the adjustment going for you?
Tackling, you can watch on film. Tackling's been a little bit iffy, but I got to step that up. I got to make some tackles. But other than that, we still got to get turnovers in the secondary. Interceptions, I think we've only had 2. And 2 through 3 games it's not going to cut it. We got to get more.
I thought DeMarcus Jones played a solid game in that secondary as well.
Yes, he did.
Thought he was really playing well. We saw Deontay Levinson come in and play a little linebacker late in the game, but we turn it back to Jon Cole for a second. JC, an explosive playmaker, one of those guys that nobody wants to defend. When you are on the field for 4 quarters of football, it makes everybody around you better, including the broadcasters, and I mean that from honest God's truth. It's just we've got to be alert when you're on the field, and it's phenomenal. But I'm going to ask you, they talk about conversations on the field. If you could you provide a sample of the competitive conversation or chatter or trash talk, as most people refer to. But just give us a sample of what a conversation might like have between you and a DB, whether it's early or it's late or it's after a score, or how does that go throughout 4 quarters of football?
You know, the crazy thing part is a lot of people probably think I talk 90% of the time, but most of the time I don't say a word unless like a DB says something to me that like is completely outrageous or I'm killing him. I'm like, dude, just play football, finish 4 quarters, and just keep trying to guard me. Like, I'm better than you. I know I'm better than you. And I can just read off body language and just emotion, like, because a lot of players on their sideline and team, they'll talk to me, trying to get me, and I'm like, you know, you got to finish 4 quarters, right? You got to finish 4 quarters, but in my mind, I tell them 5 quarters, and they look at me crazy, like, 5 quarters? I'm like, yeah, you got to finish 5 quarters. And they're like, eh. So then, but mainly I just like showing my work ethic and like just overpowering them with my skill and mental and like how I see the game. And that's what just gets me going. And I just like to just express my emotions out there. But sometimes it's silent, like a little silent assassin. Mm-hmm. And
you do most of your talking on the field, and it's results-based too, right? A lot of them just – I'm guessing your routes are designed to go to the end zone, as they say.
Mm-hmm. Every time I touch the ball, I don't want one man to tackle me. I don't even want 2 men. I really don't want to get tackled, period, because I don't like getting tackled. But when I touch it, I just want to be the greatest. And I know how much I trained and how much I trained with Tyler and the offense and how much we came together and how much we worked over the summer that a lot of people don't see. And when you work that much in the summer and off season and when people don't see and then game time come, it really is like butter, like you making a cake or some eggs or something.
Just cooking in the kitchen. A little culinary experience right here. A little culinary reference on the program with one of the cooks in the kitchen. That's Jon Cole. Jon, my last one for you is what's your favorite route in the route tree? We're kind of talking about guys that run some great routes in the NFL on Sundays and in college too. You referenced Alabama a little bit, but what's your favorite route if you had to just pick one?
One of my favorite routes is probably a route that's not in our route tree that me and Tyler have we low-key have made up our own signals on certain plays because we trust each other. Mm-hmm. And sometimes a coach may not like the play or the route, but sometimes like it's a play, like I don't know, any route to me is perfectly fine, except sometimes I just want to run a slant or a fade or tell a route that we made up over summer. But anything that we can call, I know that we can execute it because we can execute any play at any given time because how much we work and how much like we believe in each other. And it just comes down to execution and the little small details, and just believing is the ultimate goal. Because if you don't believe a play can work or like believe that you're going to get the ball, then it will never come to existence. So.
Mm-hmm. Ed, I think you and I actually spotted out a little hand signal between Tyler and Jon. We might have even pointed it out on the broadcast at one point. I don't recall the result of the play, but I know they got those hand signals in full effect. We happen to sniff one out there every now and then because we were watching that game like crazy, and we had a little ISO on you two guys. And, results-driven, results are on the field. Just incredible performances for both of you guys.
Yeah, big shout-out to my guy, Tyler Duncan. That's like a brother to me, I can say. Like, through the ups and downs, he has been there for me, and I've been there for him. And, like, the whole summer we were with each other. Even when we're not with each other, we're texting, talking, and he's on me, making sure I'm there for workouts in the morning, making sure I'm there, checking in on me, and I check in on him. But overall, it's just, like, great to have somebody like him and just to believe in me. And then big shout-out to our O-line because they get in and do the trench work and help us get the passes open. So shout-out to all the O-line and the big guys.
The bigs, man, the bigs.
Yes. J. Cole, my last one for you. We talked about this before the show. We talked about Devontae Smith. We talked about Justin Jefferson. We talked about Julio Jones. Guys that you kind of pattern your game after. What do you take from each one of those wide receivers and other receivers? Maybe it's college, maybe it's other professional wide receivers. How do you look at these other receivers and say, okay, I'm going to take this part of his game. I like this part of his game. I like what he does on this aspect of running routes or whatever he has to do as a wide receiver. How do you look at these professionals or other college players and implement that into what you do?
First, I look and how it can come to me and how I can use it in my game, because I know sometimes certain receivers have different aspects in their life that they're faster, can catch, and I just try to take each from each receiver and learn like little small details, whether like Julio's, whether his mindset, how he's going to go attack every ball, or like somebody like a route runner who knows where a DB is going to line up in and out, and just where I can play with him at the top of the route or beat him in the middle of the route. And I just like see how I can use their game into my game and see how they like build their confidence and what they do on a daily basis and how their work ethic goes into it. And I just take that because I want to be the greatest player I can be and give everything I can to my teammates and leave it all on the field and leave no regrets, because I just don't want no regrets, and I just want to be the greatest and have my team believe in me and help to get the dub and just learn.
Do you think you can play on Sundays?
If God willing, hopefully I can. But if it's not meant to be, then we're just going to be in the behavior home field and helping people, counseling, and just that gives me a lot of joy, helping people and getting insight to people. So like Coach Bowen says, at the end of the day, football is going to end one day, even though I don't want to. Nobody wants to hear saying that, but it does end one day. And hopefully if I do everything right, that everything I put on the table on the field, I can accept that and live with it regardless of the outcome. And then when business comes, I know when that transition comes, I'm going to be focused on business, and that's going to be like a good experience and different experience.
You know, you mentioned football will end one day, and Coach Bowen has as long as tenure as anybody I've known, especially in the great state 48. But one ability I think both of you have is the ability to articulate yourselves, be able to relate to people, talk to people. And I think we got two coaches that are right here. Once your game is over with, should you guys choose to do something like that, I think you could certainly teach this game at any level because of your passion, commitment, dedication to not only AACU, but what you guys do off the field. Yeah, two coaches right here. I mean, you guys, the ceiling. They talk about ceilings, right, and everything. Floor or ceiling. You guys' ceilings are immense, really. They really are. My last one for Riley Tucker. We were talking about Dave Sedmak and your influence with Sed. What's it like? You guys still talk today. Does he talk? Does he help you with your game? Does he still coach you a little bit? We were talking about Mark Andrews, and maybe a teammate a while back, but a great program at Desert Mountain. It's tradition rich. Tony Tabor, you played for him, another great guy.
I never played for Tabor.
Oh, you never played for
Tabor?
Tabor
left I think 2 years before I came in.
Okay.
But Sedmak came in my sophomore year. I still talk to him, but although he said he's done with the coaching. He retired after my senior year. He said, I'm not a coach anymore. I'm just going to watch you. He's like, I'm not going to tell you anything like that. I get a text every Friday evening saying, hey, good luck, go get him. He watches every single game. He sends me a text right after the game saying, hey, great job. Like, and it's just amazing to see. Like, I mean, it's not even like it's a family friend at this point, you know. I mean, I've been over to his house several times since I've graduated. He's always welcoming his wife. I mean, I think his wife and him went on an anniversary dinner with my parents because their anniversaries are right around the same time. It's just like
awesome.
It's a family friend
For sure.
at this point, and it's like so much love for that family and how much support they have for me.
Coach B, I don't know if what you guys do when you repair footballs, but if we need any footballs repaired, relaced, our
Right
guy,
there.
our
That's
guy
your guy.
Sedmak, I think he does it like by the hand, by buckets full. People drop off pig skins at his place, and he just literally re-sews everything. He's got a gift to do that.
He's lost so much weight too since I saw him. Let's see, senior year, and then I saw him like 4 or 5 months later, and I was like, oh my gosh, Dave, like come on, Coach Sedmak.
He's a good dude. That's going to do it here. I want one other last thing for Johnny Cole. We'll have John back again down the road when we do some more significant things on the playing field. Maybe beat Ottawa would be a good start. But Johnny Cole, dude, congratulations to you on your success. Riley, the same thing. But Johnny, number one in most receptions in ACU history, number one in yardage, touchdowns scored. I could go on, but you've had a remarkable career. Love to see you playing 4 quarters of football. Love your presence here at the Tower Grill on our show today. We thank you for your world of talent. It's our blessing to watch you play, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Riley, same thing.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for everybody viewing. Thank you for the coaches for having us up here, and thank y'all too for a lot, because y'all really like make things fun and have it's more fun and just
I
better.
rewatched the broadcast after the game. It's like film almost, but I just like hearing like you guys commentate on it and just what you guys have to say and everything. And I got to give a big shout out to J. Cole and the offense as well, man, because I tell our DBs, hey, I say we go against the best receiver in the nation every week, right? So we prepare right against him. We don't have to worry. And Tyler does a great job. I haven't picked off Tyler all this whole season yet. And I think we have one on him. And it's just amazing how much he's grown and everything, and just protecting the ball. It's just like, I'm really proud of him.
I'm stoked you guys get it done in practice, and your work ethic is conveyed on game days, and that's just fantastic. For Riley Tucker and Johnny Cole, thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more football with the head coach, and maybe we'll even get into the old line with Nelly. Brett Nelson joins us on the set next. You're watching the Storm Report, Episode 4, right here from the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University. Welcome back inside the Tower Grill. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole. It's the Storm Report, Episode 4. Talk about a little abracadabra. Look who's on the set now. We went from Johnny Cole and Riley Tucker, two handsome guys in their own right. And now here we go. We got the Hollywood looks right here. This is iconic Hollywood look right here. Benny Harris is our guest here. And, of course, Brett Nelson. And you guys know Ed down there on the end. But, gentlemen, welcome in. Congratulations on getting a victory on Saturday. Nothing like winning in the Sooner Athletic Conference, Brett.
Oh, man, it's a dream, to be coaching offensive line, college level, and be, winning in the Sooner Athletic Conference. Coming in last year, coaching offensive line really on my own for the first time in the SAC. I kind of had some expectations, but getting out there more and more every day, it's just like Coach said, just be grateful you get the win. You know, it doesn't matter how it happens. You know, a win's a win, especially at the college level. I've learned that the hard way.
I know Joe Parker was with Coach Bowen for a long time in a long-standing relationship, and we made the change, and Nelly, you were the guy, and I remember just talking to some of the student-athletes and the players early on in your transition, and all of them to a man, and I even told you this, Coach, they were just so pumped up and elated for just the new voice and the new approach and your new style and that passion that you possess, and I think we see that in the practice that I've been to, and we certainly see it on Saturdays.
Yeah, you know, I've learned from some of the best coaches, in my opinion, obviously. My mentors, Garrick McGee, who's over at Florida now, Chris Glenakis, who's over at South Alabama. I've had the real pleasure in my young career of learning from some top-quality coaches. And, you know, even Coach Bowen, just teaching me the idea that football's not everything, you know, and you can teach so much more as a coach outside of the game than in the game. You know, and what I like to bring to it is my guys understand that when I get passionate with them, you know, it's because I care. It's because I want them to be successful, not just in football, but in life, and to take these qualities that we can get from football and bring it out into the real world. I think has been something I've really pushed myself as a coach to implement to my players, but to have them understand that as well. Because, you know, people say, you know, players, coach, that sort of thing. You know, I like to have relationships with my guys. So when things are wrong, they can come to me and actually tell me, hey, Coach, I'm having these issues. And it's not just football all the time.
And, Coach, how does that make you feel to have your young men be able to come to you and open up and say, yes, I do have these issues. I need your help with this, or I need your help with that, or suggest some things to you possibly for game day or during practices? How is it to have that two-way relationship with your guys?
It's incredibly important just because, you know, especially at the offensive line position, you know, my position playing quarterback in college, it's integral to being successful. And, you know, when I'm talking with my guys on the sideline, I have to trust what they're telling me. I have to know that what they're seeing is what's going on out there. And they understand that I trust them and that I'll give them the green light to do certain things as long as we're on the same page. You know, Thursdays, you know, I do most of my individual Tuesday and Wednesday because offensive line, you do individual for about an hour during practice. But Thursdays, I ask them, hey, what do you feel like you need that you're struggling with through the week? You know, so we work on that on Thursdays, and we get that figured out, and we get those little, you know, game plan parts secured down so when we show up on Saturday, there's no confusion with what's going out on the field. And it's that relationship where they know I trust them to know what they're supposed to do.
Ed, I know you talk about it a lot. You refer to it as a brotherhood, and we see it everywhere we go. And it's no different here at ACU. Maybe it's just more enhanced, more obvious for what we see here. Going to Florida was a big deal for us. We just learned so much about this football program. And Coach Harris, man, I got to hand it to you. You're selfless. You are always doing a lot of football-related things, but you're also doing a lot of other things in that administrative category, among other things. I'm not sure if you've actually helped put the turf in or not, but if you have, we thank you for your help. But you do such a great job here. Congratulations on your success here and your tenure with Coach Bowen. And I'm thinking you're having a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, it's always fun. I mean, what could be better? We coach football for a living. I mean,
Amen.
It doesn't get any better than that, and he's brought me along pretty much everywhere he's been. I don't know that I've ever really interviewed for a job. I got out of college and I was ready to go teach and went out to Westview with him, and that's just been with him ever since. So that's worked out nicely.
Take us through that final play of the game. We were kind of mentioning on the early part of the show tonight just how instrumental you guys were behind the scenes on that final play when Jordan Barlow went down and ACU could secure victory and their third win of the campaign, second in the Sooner. It was a sack, and you guys had moved the personnel around. Deontay Dean was in that group, and we had Maurice Powell, maybe Martin Rodriguez in that group, among others. But take us through that final sequence when you said, Coach, let's do this, and let's see what might happen, and we had the results.
Well, Deontay's always had the ability to play inside and outside, just because he's so strong. Maybe not the biggest guy, but definitely probably the strongest out there. And it was just one of those things where we had looked at it a little bit during the week, and it was just an opportunity to get more speed out there. And so obviously when you have, 3 DNs and Mo, who moves like a DN. You know, it creates problems for the O-line, and luckily for us, it worked out that one time, and that was the one time we needed.
That was clutch. The clutch
Yes.
gene that Deontay Dean possesses and the clutch gene to coach. So you need both of those to have that perfect play.
Coach Harris, having Martin Rodriguez come in his freshman year, he's got 18 tackles, 2 sacks for TFL so far this year. He's got to be a revelation and a godsend for you on that D-line.
Yeah, I tell you what, we started talking to Martin, you know, in the recruiting process and saw his film and told him this in the recruiting process. I was like, hey, I've watched you. I know you can come in and probably contribute right away. And just by happenstance, he ended up starting that first game just because of some stuff that happened, and he's not ready to give it up yet. So, no, he's been great.
Did he ask for 99, or did you guys issue him number 99?
That's all Sewell. That's all Coach
That's
Sewell.
all
He hands
Coach
out the
Sewell,
numbers.
yeah.
So.
Because that right there, I'd have to think that Coach Sewell has a little bit of experience in handing out numbers, and what he saw that young man and his early work ethic and what he demonstrated here on campus, that maybe no one was wearing 99 this year. We had a freshman coming in, and lo and behold, Martin gets that number, and I tell you what, he's looked pretty darn good wearing number 99.
He has. He definitely has. Yeah, no, Sewell handles numbers like I handle the travel. You know, it's one of those jobs.
Goes hand in hand. Coach Nelson, we've had maybe 3 different left tackles in 3 particular games. You guys have had some challenges there, and just part of the trying to figure out who you have in that room and making moves. Jesus Reyna went down with some COVID challenges, maybe was out longer than we anticipated, but he might have been the guy tabbed for that job. But you've got a great room in there. You've got all kinds of guys that can play. But where are you now? We saw Connor Farnsworth start this past week. I think Kalen got some time, Kalen Merriman some time the week before. Where are you now with that position, and how healthy is Jesus?
Yeah, you know, it's it comes with the territory playing offensive line. You know, people are going to get banged up. It's the next man up mentality. In terms of the left tackle position, we've had guys step up. Obviously, Jesus was our starter all last year, was down for a couple weeks. You know, we'll see how ready he is to go. Last week was his first week of practice, so, you know, you got to kind of taper things as slow as possible so he doesn't burn himself out too fast. Mm-hmm. But, you know, those other 2 guys, Connor, Isaac Porter was the other one who started originally, Kalen, they've all been, you know, successful in what we've been trying to get done. You know, last week we ran for, over 200 yards. This week we, you know, threw for over 400. And, you know, as long as the offense is moving, the offensive line is doing their job. And that's something, it's the consistency. I'd like to settle it in at some point, but, you know, knowing that we have guys who've gone out there and played is also kind of a comfort in the back of your head. If someone gets injured, you know someone can step up.
Mr. Manu, Isaiah has looked very good, too, in that left guard spot. So, yeah, you guys continue to tinker, and that's the beauty of having some depth on your football program.
Yeah, you know, like I said, we try and travel. I think this week we traveled about 12 offensive linemen. Usually you sit around 10, and it's a competition every week. You know, we'll at some point we're going to have to get 10 on a bus, and we'll see who wants it. You know, I never promise my guys anything, and we'll do what's best for the team because it's the best 5, not just the best 5 offensive linemen, but the best 5 who can work together, especially in this conference with how much movement we get.
Coach, it has to be gratifying to have Ryan Vanderworth, Luke Verbalitis, and Kelly McPeck on that right side, just from the center, right guard, and right tackle, to have that, at least that third of the 5, like strong and set right there.
Yeah, those guys are awesome. You know, they're the people that I asked to set the standard, to do things the right way, to be the voices in the room. You know, I love those guys. I love my whole group. You know, we call ourselves the crew, right? We talk about setting the foundation, you know, not just of the offensive line or the offense, but of the entire team. And it's establishing that culture of, you know, this is what you should do as you get older, and having 3 seniors right away who can establish that for my young guys to come in, especially my prospect guys who are doing a great job right now of competing at their level. Seeing those guys and how they develop stuff has just been an absolute blessing, especially my second year here, to have those guys just kind of run the show with me.
How is that talent pool at the lower level as you're bringing up the young pups?
Oh, it's going to be something. I think Coach Bowen and I were looking at something yesterday, and we had about I pulled all my starters out in practice, and we had a bunch of backups in, and they were holding their own. So it's definitely a good feeling knowing that, as guys progress and they keep doing what they're supposed to do, we'll just keep continuing, the high level of play we've been trying to establish.
We're going to turn our attention to OUAZ in just 1 second, but for fun, Nelly, who's the guy on your offensive line that just keeps everybody light? Who keeps everybody with that smile and brings kind of a comedic approach to it, or a fresh approach?
Well, there's the three we talked about for sure. Ryan will be the one to get everyone to laugh. Kel will be the one to
yes.
He'll get after you a little bit, and Luke will be the one to tell everyone, all right, calm down. Luke's gonna be Luke's kind of he's the one who tells everyone, all right, chill out. Like, it's getting a little bit much now. Let's get back to work.
So he's the father figure. Like, okay, boys, calm down.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that Mr. McPack, who I call him, he could probably give you that look that my dad would give me, that I knew, okay, I probably was this close to crossing the line, or maybe the screech in my voice, or whatever I was doing with my Hot Wheels or something was like, that's enough. And if we go past that line, we're going to have to deal with the repercussion there. But I love Kelly, what he brings to the table. I like it when he has that intensity about him. That's special. Coach Harris, I pose the same question to you. Who's the kind of the guy that keeps you loose on that D-line in that room?
Well, it used to be Deontay, but now we've got a couple freshmen in that are a little goofy and fun to be around. So, no, it's always fun in there. It's always you got to reel those guys back in.
That's the maturation process for Dean, right? He's thinking about Sundays. He's got other things to maybe he doesn't want to be so silly right now. He's more focused. No. All right, let's get focused. OUAZ, the Spirit. 205 days ago, you guys took them out. 31 points, unanswered. You beat them at their place. They've been chomping at the bit for just that, 205 days now. You have the chance to beat them twice in 205 days. What are your thoughts about Coach Nisbet, OUAZ? They're undefeated. It's all about Arizona Christian and what they do Saturday at their place.
Well, if you're ever going to tell me that we were going to play someone within 205 days of each other, I'd look at you and say, what's going on? Because that's something different for sure.
It is.
No, they're a great program. They're fast, physical up on defense. They have multiple fronts. For us, it's really just it's what I tell my guys all the time. Just do your job, right? If we do our job, we get to our gaps, we get to our spots. We have our eyes up on the defense. It's going to be another fast, physical game like always. And that's kind of the standard we're setting is we're going to come out and play fast and just do your job. That's what I've been trying to establish over these last couple of games with my guys, especially my younger guys who are getting more reps, is when you try and do too much, that's when offensive line gets into trouble. If you just do your job, your man next to you will do his. All right. So it's staying on level with each other and competing, because obviously they're one of the top teams in the conference. If you win this game, you're kind of putting yourself in the driver's seat, and you got to keep winning every week. So that's kind of the standard we're setting. It's 1-0 this week. It's our goal.
And, Coach, I was going to say having the time of possession, that would be kind of key. We talked to Coach Bowen about 16 play drives, 10 play drives, 10 play drives, about establishing that line of scrimmage and continuing drives. That's going to be important when you're dealing with the Spirit, who's got Shamar Moreland, one of the best running backs in the country, and you definitely want to keep that guy off the field. So being able to control the line of scrimmage and winning that time of possession battle and not turning the ball over, those are all keys to victory on Saturday.
Oh, definitely. I think Coach Harris can talk a little bit about that too.
Yeah, no doubt. I was going to ask that same question. You talked about the Sooner Athletic Conference Offensive Player of the Year in Shamar Moreland. I mean, those guys like to run downhill. He's elusive as all get out. They got a good line, and it will be a challenge to stop those guys Saturday.
Oh yeah, he's a handful. I mean, he can run the ball. He catches the ball out of the backfield.
Kick returner.
Great kick returner. They got a quarterback that can throw the ball around the field, and a really solid offensive line. So for us, it's a matter of doing our jobs. It's fundamentals, being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, not trying to do somebody else's job, but doing your job and letting everything take care of itself.
And also, Coach Harris, from a special team standpoint, you've got Sean Bailey, who can flip the field in an instant. You've got Nestor Higuera, who can kick a field goal in an instant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and same thing on specials. I mean, it's just the stuff we need to clean up, and we have solid guys kicking the ball. We just need to let them kick the ball and cover it.
As a group, do we look at that game and look at that offense? Austin McCullough, Sooner Athletic Conference first teamer. They've got a lot of accolades too. But do you try to approach that game defensively with the idea we're going to go Belichick and try to take somebody out, or is it going to be more difficult than that?
I think for us, it's just playing within our system. I mean, we are what we are. You're not going to change that going into week 5. I mean, we run the defense, we do the things we do, and it's just a matter of being in the right place and not trying to do too much. That's when we get into trouble. We get into trouble when we have guys trying to do too much.
So just be yourself is the simple way to do it. How many times have we
100%.
seen where another team tries to do something different because they want to stop A or stop B, and they try to get out of what they do, and that's when they really get into problems.
Just do you.
Yeah, and it's a good problem to have when you don't have to try and find answers, when the answer is just do what you know, right? And that's a blessing we have with our guys, with Riley out there on defense, Jon out there on offense. We got TD in the backfield. We got Cole. We got Aiden, we have Sid, and a whole slew of other guys who can make plays. When you have good talent, it's really going to be in these types of games, it's going to be who plays more mistake-free, right?
Sure.
Turnover battle. Like you said, possessions, right? Don't go 3 and out, right? Those sorts of things. Establish your game plan and just follow through with it, right? And take what you're given. That sort of approach is usually how these games are fought and won.
Coach Nelson, how has your offensive line helped Tyler Duncan grow this year?
I think, I honestly think Tyler's helped us grow a lot. Tyler has been really more calm in the pocket and finding where he needs to go and understanding where he wants to step up into the pocket. And so for my young guys, it's helping them understand, hey, you can't just, wherever the guy goes, you can't just turn him loose and try and run him upfield, because Tyler has certain, ways he might want to step up for a certain play, and we have to understand that. If we're throwing the ball downfield, he's going to want to step up in the pocket. If it's quick game, he's going to want to dip out, if we're getting pressure. And it's understanding, all right, where's the pocket? Where are we going to go? And him sitting next to us on the sideline talking to my guys about what he's seeing or what he's trying to do, and us being on the same page. I could say, hey, they're doing this kind of technique. They're shooting in the B gaps, so we're going to be washing the guy across the field. Just trust that we're going to keep him out of your face. And he goes, okay, and he starts delivering shots downfield. Right, because I played the position. I know when hopefully when my offensive line get asked, what's the golden rule of pass, bro? Don't give up the inside. I know that for a fact because as a quarterback, if I get any, and I wasn't very fast, but if I get anything in my face, I'm dipping out, right, and that kills the play. So my guys know to set the inside and not give that up, and he's really helped my young guys understand that and understand the offense. He's the general of the offense. He sets the standard for us.
We're going to wrap it up, but it's just Ottawa, right? It's just another football game, but it's up the road here. It's our crosstowners.
Yep.
It's Sooner Athletic Conference football at its finest.
Yep.
At their place.
Just
Last time we played them,
just another conference
points.
game. Another conference game, right?
31 unanswered, stole. Victory out of the jaws of defeat. Winners win. We got a game Saturday. Anything else?
Just got to go do what we do.
Yep.
It's almost as simple as that. We coach them up. We go and play.
Business trip.
Oh, yeah,
Well, take us through the game plan Saturday as far as what time will you guys leave the university? Will we have a pregame meal? Take us through the final moments before we see you guys on the field Saturday.
Travel extraordinary.
Yeah, we'll do something. We'll have some sort of meal here over in the Commons, and then we'll probably get there 7 o'clock game. We'll get there about 4.
Okay. Just right down the road, we'll have, I believe, we haven't solidified everything, but from what we gather, Ed Cole and myself will be at Spirit Field with Mr. Gosen, and we will be bringing that game to you on the Firestorm Football Broadcast Network. For everybody involved with tonight's show on the Storm Report for Episode 4, we hit it out of the park once again. For Jeff Bowen, for Jon Cole, Riley Tucker, and for Mr. Nelson and Mr. Harris, we thank you for watching tonight's show. For Robert Nielsen, a special thank you for your contribution. And, as always, our SID, Mr. Tim Gosen. He's Ed Cole. I'm Kevin Derryberry. Until next time, ACU, look forward to a big one against Ottawa. ACU 3-1 overall, 2-1 in the SAC. And they've now beaten the Lions from Sagu 5 times in a row. They're 7-1 all time against Sagu, and we're undefeated at Firestorm Field. And last but not least, a shout-out to Travis Armstrong, the Director of Sports Medicine, who gets it done for us and keeps our guys on the field.
Amen.
We'll see you
You're my boy,
on
Blue.
Saturday in Surprise. Good night from the Tower Sports Grill.